Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Line Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'll be playing a 150-point kill team match with commanders between my Dark Angels and Harris's Chaos Space Marines. So the story that we've got going on here today is that these Primaris Space Marines from the Dark Angels were told to hold this position, and we're told to hold this position against any incoming enemy that might be assaulting the location, while the Ravenwing and Deathwing were out on a mission to go try to track down some rumors of the Fallen on this planet. So the Primaris were left in this position back far away from where they might have come across any information about the Fallen, since they were not inducted into the Inner Circle yet. So they were placed in that position, left there to hold and defend this position. And while they were defending this position, a warband of Chaos Space Marines, led by an exalted champion, have descended upon this location and have come against them. So that is the story that we got going on. We are going to be playing Tip of the Spear mission, which is one of the narrative missions from the Commander's book. And basically what happens is he is going to be the attacker. I am going to be the defender. His deployment was in a little triangle. It was in a big triangle over there, and I've got basically a rectangle in the back end over here. And what happens is, at the end of the game, if one team is broken and the other isn't, then whoever was not broken wins. But if either both are broken or neither is broken, then he gets 3 points if his commander is wholly within my deployment zone, and he gets 1 point for each other model in his kill team that's in my deployment zone. I, on the other hand, get 3 points if his commander is taken out of action, and I get 1 point for each other model that has been taken out of action. So, should be pretty interesting. A lot of blood. Should be a lot of fun. So, that is the story. That is the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Dark Angels, my kill team will consist of a commander who is a Primaris Lieutenant with a power sword and bolt pistol. He'll have the strength specialism. Then from left to right, we have my leader, who's an intercessor sergeant with a bolt rifle. I then have an intercessor with an auspex, and he will be my comms specialist. I then have a reaver sergeant with grab shoot, grapnel launcher, close combat weapon, and heavy bolt pistol. He will be my combat specialist. I then have a intercessor gunner with an auxiliary grenade launcher. He will be my sniper specialist. I then have a reaver with grapnel launcher, grab shoot, and close combat weapon, and an intercessor with a bolt rifle. And for the Chaos Space Marines, leading it off, we have an exalted champion with a power sword and a plasma pistol. He will be his commander with the strength specialism. He will also have stoic hero. We then have an aspiring champion with a power sword and plasma pistol. He will be his leader. We have a gunner with a heavy bolter who will be his sniper specialist. We then have a zealot specialist with an icon of wrath, a chainsword and a bolt pistol. We have another guy with a chainsword and bolt pistol who will be his combat specialist. We have a regular marine with a chainsword and bolt pistol, and 5 cultists, one with a heavy stubber, one with a flamer, 2 with autoguns, and a cult leader with a shotgun. All right, so this is the armies going over the deployment. I've got my reaver over on this side. I've got my sniper up on top over here, comm specialist down below over here, and I've got my commander back down over here. I've got my leader and my regular intercessor over here, and I've got my combat specialist over here. Going over deployment for the Chaos Space Marines, we've got his regular Chaos Space Marine there. We've got his combat specialist, his zealot specialist, his commander, and his leader all in a little spear tip over here. We've got his sniper back over here laying down some overwatch. And we've got the guy with the flamer here, the guy with the autogun, heavy stubber, and his the cult leader back over there. So that is deployment. Now we will roll off to see who will have the initiative going into turn 1. My opponent rolled a 7 and I rolled an 8. So we will come back to you with the movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. My opponent is going to beseech the Dark Gods Rolling a 2, so he is good to go. Over here, costs 2 command points, and now his sniper will be able to add 1 to hits and to wounds for the rest of the game. If he had rolled a 1, he would have taken a mortal wound and not gotten that. So D3 mortal wounds. Brutal. But anyway, so that is that. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. My combat specialist moved up over here. My leader and the regular intercessor both readied themselves, as did my sniper specialist and my comm specialist. My regular Reaver actually advanced over this way, and my commander, being the brave idiot that he is going to charge into all 3 of these guys over here. So he's going to overwatch. 2 guys can see him with their bolt pistols, so looking for 6s. Not getting either of them, so I need a 10-inch charge to make it in over here. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Yeah, with an 11-inch charge. Woo! All right, so when he successfully charged in over here, I spent 1 command point for body slam. I'm serious, that's what it's called, look it up. It's the strength specialist, one of their command traits that they can use. Basically what it does is when he successfully makes a charge move and ends within 1 inch of an enemy model, you roll a d6 for each enemy model, and on a 6, that model suffers a mortal wound. So we're gonna go from his zealot specialist down to his regular dude bro. So we'll start with the zealot specialist. On a 6, he takes a mortal wound. Show me that Phil first. Yeah, the Phil face, he takes the mortal wound. Onto his combat specialist. Phil first. No, and then his regular dude bro. Yeah, the Phil face. I'll take it both. So the mortal wound goes onto there. So let's see if he is down. No, he takes a flesh wound, and then onto his regular dude bro. With a 3, also takes a flesh wound. Not bad, I'll take that. That was pretty good for 1 command point. I'll take that. All right, so movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines here. His cult leader readied himself. His sniper specialist readied himself. Readied, and readied. All of the cultists readied, as well as the sniper specialist. Now his exalted champion is going to charge into my dude bro over here, my combat specialist. So I don't think I've got lined up there, but he needs a 9-inch charge to get in. Does not make it. Oh, Icon of Wrath lets him re-roll the charge distance, which is pretty good. No, still does not make it. He still can move the 6, yes. And now his aspiring champion, his leader, is going to charge into my commander over there. He makes it with a 9-inch charge. Now the 9-inch charge comes. I think you could have made it with a 6 too, so that would have been if it had just been switching around. The dice are just the dice gods are laughing. Yeah. All right, we're going to start off with my sniper, who is going to be shooting into his sniper over here. The comm specialist gave him the comms ability as well as the auspex ability, so he's going to ignore the -1 for being obscured. He's going to get +1 to hit, but he's more than half distance, which means that he is going to be hitting on a 3, all told. So looking for a 3. That is a hit. Strength 4, toughness 4, looking for a 4 to wound. That is not a wound. I'm gonna let it go.
Rerolling 1s.
All right, so not sure I pointed at him. His sniper specialist is now going to fire into my comm specialist. That's why, because I had my comm specialist being a target on the brain. He's going to fire into him. He's got the he beseeched the dark god successfully, so he's got +1 to hit. But he is obscured, but he's within half range, 18 inches. So he is going to have a. He's going to be looking for 3s to hit.
Rerolling 1s for sniper.
Rerolling 1s because of sniper.
And then
reroll that 1.
2s.
Oh, jeez. All right, that's a hit. You got a hit. Wounding on +1 here, so looking for 2s to wound because of strength 5. That is a wound. Right, AP -1, so looking for a 4-up save. He's good with a Phil face. Woo! All right, so now my comm specialist is going to fire into his sniper specialist. He's going to be hitting on 5s because he doesn't get the benefit of any of his fancy little communications tools. That was all on the sniper there. So looking for a 5 to hit. That does hit with a Phil face, though. Looking for a 4 to wound. No wound. So now his heavy stubber is going to fire into my Reaver over here. He's going to be -1 to hit because of obscured, but he's obviously within half range here. Yep. So 3 shots here, hitting on 5s. Getting no hits. So now my leader over here is going to fire into his sniper, hitting on 5s because of distance and being obscured. No hit. All right, so now his auto gun guy here, bless you, is going to shoot into my Reaver over here. He's obscured, so it's going to be hitting on 5s, but he is in double tap range, so in half range there, so getting no hits. Okay. And my regular intercessor is going to shoot at his sniper over there, again hitting on a 5. No hit. All right, so we had a bit of technical difficulties there, but we went through the fight phase. What happened is my lieutenant here decided to attack. He put 2 attacks onto his leader, 1 attack onto his zealot, 1 attack onto his combat specialist, killed the leader, and whiffed entirely on the other 2 guys. They all then attacked back into him, and he put 1 wound onto him, leaving him at 4 wounds. So that is actually going to be the end of the turn here. So we will now roll to see who will have... No one has to take any tests because there's only 1 guy out on his side. Can't fail any nerve tests and definitely not breaking. So we'll now roll to see who has the initiative going to turn 2. My opponent got a 10. I got a 7. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines here on turn 2. All right, movement phase. His whatchamacallit, cultist over here readied himself, and readied himself with the sniper specialist. His cult leader over here advanced up over to here. All the guys that were in combat with my lieutenant fell back out of combat, and now his commander is going to charge into my commander. So I will fire my bolt pistol as in Overwatch. Looking for a fill face, not getting it. So here comes his charge distance. 7 inches, was that enough? 1 second. And 7 got him in. All right, so going over movement phase for the Dark Angels. These 2 guys readied themselves, my leader and my intercessor. Comm specialist and sniper specialist readied themselves. And now both of my Reavers are going to charge. So we're going to start with my combat specialist over here. He's going to charge into his cult leader over there. His Overwatch does not hit, so here comes my charge distance, putting me well in. And now my other Reaver is going to charge into his regular Space Marine over here. His charge distance is well in. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, his sniper specialist is going to fire into my comm specialist over here. So he's going to have 3 shots here, hitting on 4s because of being 3s because of being obscured, and +1 because of beseeching them dark gods. Getting 2 hits there. These are now going to be wounding on 2s because of beseech the dark gods. Getting 1 hit. AP -1 is going to be looking for a 4-up, and he's good with a 4. All right, so now my sniper specialist is going to use the comm specialist special ability and the auspex from this comm specialist to shoot into his sniper specialist. So I'm going to have 1 shot here that's going to be hitting on a 3 because of +1 because of the comm specialist, ignoring the obstructed, but still at more than half range. That is going to be a hit, and it's going to be wounding on a 4. That is a wound with a full face, AP -1, looking for a 4-up. He's good. Now his heavy stubber is going to fire into my sniper over here. He's obscured, so he's going to be hitting on 5s, but he's within half range. So 2 hits, pretty good. Wounding on 4s, getting 1 wound. Looking for a 3-up. Yeah, he good. My common specialist is going to fire into his sniper over there, hitting on a 5. No hit. Auto gun is going to fire into my sniper, hitting on a 6 because of range and obscuring. No hit. My leader is going to fire into his sniper specialist on a 5 because of range and obscuring. No hit. Other auto gun into my sniper specialist on a 6. Nothing.
With all these ones.
And my regular intercessor into his sniper specialist. That is still not a hit. So now, starting off in the fight phase, we're going to start with his commander charging into my commander. He has, he's going to have 4 attacks. They're going to be hitting on 2s. He has Death to the False Emperor, so hit rolls of 6s explode. An additional attack. He's also going to spend a command point for Spear Tip Strike, which is the attack special command point thing that he can use for this mission, which allows him to re-roll, or no, gives him +1, add 1 to wound rolls. He's also got the Strength Specialism, so he's actually going to be wounding me on 2, hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s. Pretty brutal. So let's see how this goes. He's got 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, getting 3 hits. These are Death to the False Emperor for that 6. So that's going to be 4 hits, wounding on 2s. getting 4 wounds. All right, so now I have 4 6-up saves because of it being a power sword. So I need to see some fill faces here. Show me them fill faces. Getting 2 fill faces, so he takes 2 wounds. All right, so now we're gonna go over here to my regular Reaver. He's got 2 attacks base, +1 because of the combat weapon, attacking into his regular Space Marine over here. So I've got 3 attacks hitting on 3s, getting 3 hits, wounding on 4s, getting 3 wounds. These are gonna be AP nothing, so 3 3-ups. Failing one of them. He's got 1 wound already, so it's gonna be +1 to this. 2, another flesh wound. And now my combat specialist is going to attack into his cult leader over there. I've got 5 attacks because it's 3 base for being a sergeant, +1 because of the close combat weapon, and +1 because of being a combat specialist. These are going to be hitting on 3s. All hits. That was a lot of fill faces. Holy cow. These are now going to be wounding on 3s, right? Because he's tough 3. Tough 3. 3s to wound. Getting 4 wounds. AP nothing, so 4 5-up saves. Fails 3 of them, so he's going to be taking a see if he gets knocked out. He does not. He takes a flesh wound. All right, so now his regular Space Marine here is going to attack into my Reaver. He's got 2 attacks, 1 base +1 for the chainsword. He's got 2 flesh wounds, so transhuman physiology.
Yeah.
I was going to substantiation. I don't know what that was. Transhuman physiology is going to ignore 1 of them, so he's still going to be at -1 to hit here. So he's going to have 2 attacks hitting on 4s, getting 1 hit, wounding on a 4. That is cocked.
That's super cocked.
And that is a wound. Going to be a 3-up armor save. No, failed that. And now my lieutenant's going to attack into his exalted champion over there. I've got 4 attacks hitting on 2s. That is going to be 4 hits. Wounding on 3s because he's the strength specialist. Getting 3 wounds at AP -3, so that's going to be 6-up saves. Making 1 of them, so he takes 2 wounds. Okay, and now his cult champion, cultist champion. Oh, cult champion, hey, is going to attack into my guy over there. 1 hit, no wound. We've already had a flesh wound, but it doesn't make a difference, nothing happened. All right, so that is the end of turn 2. No tests need to be taken because of the fact that he only has 1 guy out, and no one can fail their nerve test. So we are now going to roll to see who will have the initiative going into turn 3. I rolled a 5. My opponent rolled a 5, so re-rolling. I rolled a 2. My opponent rolled a 9, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines here on turn 3. Movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines. This Chaos Space Marine fell back over this way. Fell forward technically, but fell back, let's be honest. His cultist up here with the heavy stubber readied himself. Both the autogun guys readied themselves. The flamer guy readied himself. The dude bro with the sniper up here readied himself. He stayed in combat, the brave cult leader there. These 2 guys are going to charge in a second, and he stayed in combat with my lieutenant. So here we go. We're now going to have into the charges that he's going to take off. So we're going to start with combat specialist into my Reaver, into my combat specialist over there. He needs a 5-inch charge to get in. Makes it. And now his Zealot specialist is going to charge into my leader over here. He needs a 6-inch charge to make it in. Making it in. All right, moving phase for the Dark Angels. These guys, my leader and the intercessor, readied themselves. Comm specialist and sniper specialist readied themselves. My Reaver over here that he had fallen back out of fell back over to here because I needed to get some cover. My lieutenant has to stay in combat, as does my combat specialist. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. Now his sniper specialist is going to try to shoot into my comm specialist over here to start us off here. That is re-rolling once because he's a sniper specialist.
That's the second time.
And he gets a hit though. Yeah, that's true. 3 is a wound. This is going to be -1 to the armor save, so looking for a 4. Getting it with a 5. All right, so my sniper is going to fire into his Chaos Space Marine over here. He is obscured, and he is, but he's within half range, so I'm going to have 2 shots here hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1s because he's sniper. Re-rolling 1s because he's sniper. That is going to be 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. No wound. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that. Into a wound with a filfers. -1 to save. No, takes the wound. This is going to have +2 to it because of his flesh wounds. With a 5, he is out of action. Heavy Stubber here is going to fire into my Reaver. He's going to be hitting on 5s because he's obscured, but he's obviously within half range over there. So that is going to be no hits.
Phil, I do not know why I ran.
All right, so now my leader here is going to fire into his Sniper Specialist. He's going to take the abilities of the Comm Specialist, both the auspex scan and the auspex and the Comm Specialist. So he's going to have one shot here hitting on a 3. That is not a hit. All right, so now the autogun guy is going to fire into my Reaver. He's within half range, but he is obscured. So that's going to be no hits. All right, so now the Comm Specialist is going to fire into his Sniper Specialist, hitting on a 5. That is not a hit. Autogun into Reaver. Getting 1 hit. Getting no wounds. And now my Intercessor into his Sniper Specialist. That is a hit. That is not a wound. All right, so now his commander is going to fire his plasma pistol into my lieutenant over here. Not overcharging. That is a hit. Strength 7, so looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. AP -3, so 6 up save. Show me that filfers. Yeah, with the filfers. Woo! All right, so at the start of the fight phase, I spent 2 command points for Decisive Strike, which means that my lieutenant is going to strike first into his commander. I've got 4 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 2s. Getting 3 hits. These are now going to be wounding on 3s because of the strength specialism. Getting 1 wound. I'm going to spend a command point. I'm going to spend 1 command point to reroll one of those. Yeah, okay, 2. 2. 6 up saves. He fails them both. So,
I'm going to...
You have... Do 1 second. All right, so he's going to spend his last command point to reroll one of those. No, doesn't make it. So let's see if he is knocked out of action. 6 with a fill face. He is out of action. All right, so now his Zealot is going to attack into my lieutenant over here. He's going to have 3 attacks here, hitting on 3s. Because he charged, he gets +1 attack as the Zealot. Those are all hits. Wounding on 3s because of +1 strength. So that's 2 wounds. Looking for 3 up saves. Failed 1 of them. And now his Combat Specialist into my Combat Specialist. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves. Failed 1. And now his Cultist will attack into my Combat Specialist.
5s.
Looking for 5s. No hits. So now my Combat Specialist is going to attack back. He's going to put 3 into his Combat Specialist and 2 into his Cult Leader. So we're going to have the 3 into the Combat Specialist. That is 3 hits. That is 2 wounds, AP nothing, so 2 3-ups. Failed 1, so let's see if he is out. With a 1, he takes a flesh wound. And now the 2 into his Cult Leader, Cult Champion. That is 2 hits. That is 2 wounds. And that is 1 failed.
That's all it takes.
+1 to this roll. On a 6, he will go. All right, so that is the end of turn 3 here. We have some nerve tests to take on the Chaos side here. So we'll start over here with the Zealot Specialist. 5 + 4 is 9, so he failed that. So he is going to be, he's got the nerves. And then we've got the other Combat Specialist. 4 + 4 is 8. 1 second, we gotta figure that out. They have Leadership 7, so he is nerved as well. All right, so now I'm gonna roll to see who has the initiative going into turn 4. My opponent rolled an 8, I rolled a 3, so we'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines. His Heavy Stubber Dude Bro moved over there. These 2 guys moved over here. His guy with the Flamer readied himself, and so did his Sniper Specialist. So we will come back to you after movement phase for... these guys are nerfed, so they can't do anything. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. My leader and intercessor readied themselves. Sniper and comms readied themselves. My lieutenant stayed in combat, as did my combat specialist. And now my regular Reaver here is going to charge into his Heavy Stubber Dubro. I need a 9-inch charge to make it in. I am going to spend a CP to re-roll that. Making it with the CP re-roll. Woo!
Yes.
All right, his Sniper Specialist is going to start us off by shooting into my Comm Specialist over here. 3 shots, hitting on 3s. Re-rolling 1s because he's a Sniper Specialist. So getting 3 hits. Here we go. Wounding on 2s. Getting 2 wounds. AP -1, so looking for 4 up serves. Making them both with fill faces. All right, so my sniper specialist is now going to fire into his sniper specialist. He's going to take all of the fun stuff that comms guy dude bro has there. So it's going to be 1 shot, hitting on a 3. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. That is not a wound. All right, so now I just have the 3 readied guys here that shoot before his guys that move. So they're going to fire into his sniper specialist. We're going to do all 3 shooting just to speed things along here. So it's going to be 3 shots, hitting on 5s. Getting 1 of them hit, wounding on a 4. All right, so now one of the autogun guys is going to shoot into my sniper over here. No hit there. So my lieutenant's going to fire his bolt pistol into him. That is not a hit. Autogun into the sniper. Not a hit. And Reaver into his combat specialist. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. AP -1 because it's a heavy bolt pistol. He's good with a 6. So starting out the fight phase, my guy who charged over here is going to attack into him. He's got 2 base +1 for the close combat weapons. So he's going to be hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Wow. No. So now my lieutenant's going to attack into his dude bro over there. 4 attacks here, hitting on 2s. Getting 3 hits. Wounding on 3s because of the strength specialism. Wow, I'm going to let it go. So here we go. 1, 6 up save. Oh, he's just got the thing. God, I knew it. And now his combat specialist is going to attack into my combat specialist. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That's all hits. Oh, death to the false emperor as well. So 4 hits on 3 attacks. Pretty good. Yep. Wounded on 4s. Getting 4 wounds. Oh boy. 4 saves of 3 ups. And I failed the 1. So does he get knocked out? Do I want to command? Yeah, I'm a command point that one. Thank you. Oh, okay. Whew, okay. Maybe it was meant to be that he wasn't supposed to kill the other guy. So now my combat specialist will attack into his combat specialist with 5 attacks, hitting on 3s.
My combat specialist can beat up your combat.
Yeah, my combat specialist can beat up your combat specialist. So I got 4 attacks, 4 hits, wounded on 4s. Getting 2 wounds with fill faces. Let's see if that makes a difference. It does with 1. So he's got he's already got a flesh wound. So +1 to this one. With a 5, he is out of action. We forgot he was had a nerve test, so we just gave me back my command point for that and left it the way it is. So that'll be fine. So he can't attack back, but that is going to be it for the fight phase. It's real super exciting there for a second, but it so we'll just leave it exciting there for you. But yeah, no, and I'm sure you've all left comments already telling me, oh, he was nerve test. Yeah, he was. You're right. So we do have some tests to take, though, right? We have some.
Do I have anyone alive with flesh wounds?
We got one guy with a flesh wound over here, his zealot specialist, so he's got to take it. So he's going to have +5 to this roll. Yeah, he is definitely nervy, but he's still got 6 guys on the board, so he is not breaking. So let's roll to see who will on turn 5 have the advantage. Rolled an 8, he got a 4, so I will go first. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. My sniper and my comm specialist both readied. Both my leader and my intercessor advanced up here, rolled really horribly for it, so they are stuck down below there. My lieutenant stayed in combat, and my Reaver over here stayed in combat. So now my combat specialist is going to charge into all of his dude bros over here. So we got Overwatch from the Flamer. D6 hits, 3 hits. Strength 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting 1 wound.
And you were worried.
With the fill face, he's good. All right, so here comes his charge into the cultist over there. With an 8-inch charge, he's in. Movement phase for the cultists here, or the Space Marines. I guess there's 2 Space Marines still left.
Yeah.
He fell back over here. These guys are locked in combat. He readied himself, and he is nervy, so he has to stay right there. So we will now come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so my sniper is going to use all of the fun things from the comm specialist to shoot into his sniper specialist. Let's see if he can actually do something this game. Hitting on a 3. Hey, he got a hit. Wounding on a 4. Nope. Still can't do anything. And his sniper specialist is going to continue his nerf fight into my into my comm specialist over here, getting 2 hits.
2 wounds.
Getting 2 wounds. Oh, failed them both. So he is going to be taking a dying test. That is cocked. Oh, he takes a flesh wound. Comm specialist is going to shoot into his sniper specialist, looking for a 5 to hit because he's got transhuman physiology. Nope, 1 is not going to do anything. All right, so now my lieutenant's going to shoot a pistol into him over here. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And my reaver, because he stood still when he fell back and he's in the shooting phase now, he's going to shoot into his the guy that fell back over there. So 1 shot hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Wounding on a 3. No wound. All right, fight phase. Now my combat specialist is going to put 2 attacks into the flamer, 2 attacks into the next guy, 1 attack into the next guy over there. So 2 into the flamer guy. That's 2 hits. That is 1 wound. No save. Does he go down?
Yeah,
he does. 2 attacks into the autogun guy. That is 1 hit. That is 1 wound. That is not a save. Does he go down? Oh, he does. And 1 attack left into the other guy there. That is not a hit. I'm gonna spend a special command point on that.
Don't do that one.
And my lieutenant's attacking in there. 4 attacks hitting on 2s. Whoa. Getting 2 hits. Wounding on 3s because of strength specialism. That's 2 6-up saves. Oh, wow. Well done. All right, so now his cultist is going to swing back over here. That is a hit. That is not a wound, though. All right, so that is the end of turn 5. We do have to take a break test. So the guy with the highest leadership right now is looking for a 7, right?
Yep.
So leadership test. 4, he's good past it, but at the end of turn 5, we are going to call it right there because he's got this guy is going to be hard pressed to pass his nerve test, and he can roll a 1 if he wants. Yeah, just keep making 6-ups and keeping my lieutenant tied up. But at that point, he's then got just the 2 cultists and the 1 guy. So yeah, on a 1 he could. It auto passes on a 1. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I've had the internet tell me loudly and vociferously that on a 1 they can't auto pass, so it's worth taking.
That's a 12.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that got crazy. There was all sorts of craziness going on. It was fun to see. I like that Primaris Lieutenant. He's pretty good, especially with the strength specialism. That was fun running in there with those like body slamming. I like to imagine that they did like a WWE body slam, you know, like maybe like exactly. KO'd the 2 guys as he goes flying in there off the ropes. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil the Glacial Geek as always. My opponent's been Harrison. Until next time, have fun.